I'm standing in a luxury resort kitchen wearing a server's uniform I never thought I'd put on. My hand is on a microphone connected to the ballroom where 200 guests are celebrating my sister's engagement party. In 2 minutes, everything changes. They think I'm staff. They have no idea who I really am. But let me back up and tell you how this happened. 3 weeks ago, my sister mailed me a package. Inside was a cheap polyester uniform, black pants, white shirt, black vest. The kind that costs maybe $20. There was a sticky note, standard size. Don't alter it. She didn't send an invitation to her engagement party. She sent me a uniform. My name is Eleanor. I'm 32, and I've spent my entire life being the invisible daughter. Not because I'm unsuccessful, I actually do pretty well for myself. I'm a distressed debt specialist. I acquire failing businesses and turn them around. But my family, they've never cared what I do. To them, I'm just the disappointing older sister who can't measure up to perfect Ashley. Ashley has never worked a real job, never paid her own rent, never struggled for anything. But she's charming and social and knows exactly how to make our parents proud. Me. I put myself through college, built my career from nothing, and they still forget my birthday. 3 years ago showed me exactly where I stood. I just lost my job. Market crashed, firm downsized, and I was facing eviction. 2 months of rent due and $40 in my account. I swallowed every ounce of pride I had and asked my parents for a small loan. $2,000. Just enough to keep me off the street while I found new work. My father didn't even look up from his newspaper. We can't just hand you money, Eleanor. It sets a bad precedent. You need to learn resilience. 2 weeks later, I found out they were giving Ashley $5,000 every single month. A networking allowance so she could build connections in the city. Which really meant expensive brunches and Instagram photos. $5,000 every month for 3 years. That's $180,000. Enough to buy a house. Enough to change someone's entire life. But I was the bad investment. Ashley was the asset worth funding. I found a new job on my own. Clawed my way back, kept my distance from them after that. Showed up for holidays, stayed polite, left early. Built my life without them, and honestly, I was fine with it. Then Ashley called about her engagement party. I've been thinking about the aesthetic, she said, all breezy and casual. It's black tie, super elegant, and honestly, Eleanor, you don't really have the wardrobe to stand next to Victoria. Victoria, the groom's mother. Old money, intimidatingly polished, apparently the guest of honor at this whole thing. I think it would be better if you blended in, Ashley continued. Like support staff, you know. Takes the pressure off you. You won't have to worry about what to wear or making small talk. You can just help out. I couldn't speak. Literally could not form words. I'm mailing you a uniform. See you at the party. She hung up before I could respond. When that package arrived 2 days later, I stared at it for hours. A server's uniform. My own sister wanted me to dress like hired help at her engagement party. I should have thrown it away. Should have called her back and told her exactly what she could do with that uniform. But I didn't. Because when you've spent 32 years being treated like you don't matter, you learn to make yourself smaller. You learn that fighting back only makes things worse. You learn to swallow your dignity and keep the peace. So I hung the uniform in my closet and tried to figure out what to do. And that's when something clicked in my brain. Not sadness. Not anger. Something colder. More calculated. See, there's something my family doesn't know about me. Something I've never mentioned because they've never once asked about my work or cared what I do for a living. 2 months before Ashley's party, I acquired a distressed debt portfolio. Luxury resort, defaulted on their bridge loan. I bought the note for 60 cents on the dollar. $12 million deal. Good investment, prime location, solid structure, just needed better management. That resort, the Thornfield Manor. The exact venue where Ashley was throwing her engagement party. My sister was planning her dream celebration at a property I owned. And she had absolutely no idea. I stared at that uniform hanging in my closet, and I made a decision. I was going to wear it. I was going to let them treat me exactly how they'd always wanted to treat me. And then I was going to show them the truth. I called Anthony, the general manager at the Thornfield Manor. He'd been there 20 years, survived 3 ownership changes, loyal to whoever signed his paycheck. Right now, that was me. Anthony, I need something unusual from you, I said. My sister is hosting an event at the resort in 3 weeks. I'm going to attend as service staff. No one can know I own the property. Long silence on the other end. Miss Eleanor, are you certain about this? Very certain. I need you to trust me. Can you do that? Another pause. Yes, ma'am. We spent 2 weeks preparing what we called Protocol B. Anthony briefed the entire staff personally, chefs, servers, security, everyone. They all needed to recognize me and understand that if they saw me in that uniform, they had to play along. Complete silence. No acknowledgement. The staff thought I'd lost my mind. I could see it in their faces. But Anthony backed me completely, and they'd follow orders. I went over every detail. The contract Ashley signed. The personal guarantee my parents added without reading the fine print. The code of conduct clauses protecting staff from hostile treatment. I wasn't being vindictive. I was being thorough. The night of the party came. I showed up at 6 p.m. Not at the main entrance with the red carpet and valet parking. At the service entrance. The loading dock where the garbage trucks park. Security stopped me at the front doors. Ma'am, the bride has flagged your name for the service entrance. You'll need to use the loading dock. He pointed toward the alley. We can't have anyone confusing the aesthetic. I looked up at the balcony. My parents were standing there. My mother saw me. Made direct eye contact. Then she took a sip of her wine and turned away. That's when I knew this would work. I walked through the service entrance, through the kitchen. Every chef and cook recognized me and froze. I pressed one finger to my lips. They nodded and went back to work, confused but obedient. The executive chef dropped his tongs when he saw me. Started to step forward, panic in his eyes. But I kept walking, and he got the message. He started barking orders twice as loud to cover the moment. Anthony was waiting by the staff locker room, practically shaking. Miss Eleanor, this is insane. Let me end it now. I'll have security remove them. Not yet. I pulled out the uniform. If we kick them out now, they're victims. They'll spin it, say I was jealous and petty. I need them to commit. I need them to treat me exactly how they want to, with witnesses. I need the cameras to see it. Because the venue had security cameras everywhere. Every interaction would be recorded. Documented. Undeniable. I changed into that scratchy uniform. Pants 2 inches too short. Vest too tight in the shoulders. I looked at myself in the mirror. I didn't look like a successful debt specialist. I looked like exactly what they'd always seen, invisible. Useful only for serving them. Anthony pinned a plastic name tag to my vest. It didn't have my name. Just said, staff. Protocol B is ready on your signal, he said quietly. Good. I picked up a tray of champagne. Let's serve some drinks. The ballroom was stunning. Vaulted ceilings, crystal chandeliers, flowers that probably cost more than a car. Ashley stood in the center in a custom Vera Wang gown, surrounded by admirers. My parents stood beside her, beaming. The perfect family. I moved along the edges with my tray. Champagne. Most guests didn't even look at my face. One woman handed me her used napkin mid-conversation. Another gestured for a refill without glancing up. I was furniture. Useful and invisible. I watched Christopher, Ashley's fiancé, standing apart from the group. He looked uncomfortable, eyes darting around like he wanted an escape. Poor guy had no idea what family he was marrying into. Then Ashley saw me. Her eyes narrowed, then widened with cruel delight. She said something to her bridesmaids. They all turned to look. She didn't wave. She snapped her fingers. A summons. I took a breath and walked over. Staff. Not my name. Just snapped her fingers again, pointing at the older woman beside her. Victoria. The groom's mother. Yes, ma'am. Ashley leaned close. Her perfume was aggressive, expensive, choking. Don't embarrass me, Eleanor. Victoria needs a refill. Don't give her the house pour. Go to the reserve case, get the 2012 vintage. Green crate. She grabbed my wrist. nails digging into my skin. And try not to shake. You look nervous. Makes you look incompetent. A year ago, that would have destroyed me. I would have apologized, asked what I did wrong, tried harder to please her. Tonight, I just looked at her manicured nails and calculated liability. The 2012 vintage, I repeated flatly. Consider it done. She released me, turned back to her bridesmaids with a bright fake laugh. The help these days. You have to walk them through everything. Victoria smiled politely, but I caught something in her expression. Discomfort. Maybe disapproval. She just watched my sister grab a server and insult her. That wasn't class. That was cruelty. I turned to leave, but my mother blocked my path. Evelyn looked me up and down. The cheap uniform, the plastic name tag, the ill-fitting pants. I waited for shame. For guilt. For something human. Instead, she smiled. Soft. Genuine. You know, she whispered, you look so much tidier this way, Eleanor. The uniform suits you. Gives you structure. You finally fit in. The air left my lungs. There it was. The truth I'd been denying for 32 years. They didn't see me as less successful than Ashley. They saw me as less valuable as a person. And in this uniform, serving them, I finally had a purpose they understood. I wasn't a disappointment anymore. I was useful. I'm glad you approve, Mother. Just keep the glasses full. And stay out of the photos. She patted my shoulder like I was a dog who'd learned a trick. That pat. That was the moment. Any remaining doubt vanished. I didn't go get the wine. I walked straight through the kitchen, past confused staff, into Anthony's office. Locked the door. The party noise faded to a dull hum. I pulled out my phone. Anthony's number already dialed. Anthony. Initiate protocol B, cut the music. We're done serving. Anthony stood by the master control panel, hand hovering over the switches. I unpinned the plastic name tag. Staff. Tossed it onto his desk. It clattered against glass, cheap sound in an expensive room. You look calm, Anthony said carefully. I am calm. Rage is messy. Litigation is precise. I pulled up the file on his computer. Operating agreement for the Thornfield Manor Resort. Scrolled to clause 14, subsection C, Code of Conduct and Liability. Remember what I told you about my management style. You don't tolerate liabilities. Exactly. I tapped the screen. Ashley didn't just rent a ballroom. She signed a commercial contract. Any behavior creating a hostile or degrading environment for staff constitutes material breach. Immediate termination. Forfeiture of deposits. Instant eviction. I looked down at the polyester vest. She demanded I perform duties to humiliate me. Grabbed me in front of witnesses. Created a hostile work environment. She breached the contract. Anthony nodded slowly. He wasn't looking at a waitress anymore. The parents signed the unlimited personal guarantee, I continued. Evelyn and Richard. They didn't read it, did they? Too busy asking about valet parking to read the fine print. Perfect. I took off the vest. Without it, my posture straightened. Shoulders back. I was shedding the costume, stepping back into myself. I picked up the microphone connected to the ballroom's PA system. Anthony, kill the mood lighting. Turn on house lights. Maximum brightness. I want them to see every speck of dust. His hand moved to the lighting board. And the music. Cut it. I watched his finger hover. It's time to collect the debt. Out in the ballroom, music was pumping. People dancing. Ashley on the floor with her bridesmaids, holding a magnum of champagne she hadn't paid for. My mother laughing with Victoria, basking in reflected glory. Then silence. Music cut mid-beat. The quiet was physical, like oxygen got sucked from the room. A second later, warm mood lighting died. Click, click, click. Harsh fluorescent lights slammed on. Industrial white. Bleached the romance from everything. Crystal centerpieces looked garish. Gold drapes looked cheap. People's makeup looked overdone. Guests squinted, shielding their eyes. What's going on? Ashley's voice screeched. Anthony, fix the lights. Where's the music? I walked through the double doors. No tray. Just the microphone. My steps echoed on hardwood. Guests parted, confused by a server walking with purpose. Some pulled out phones. They sensed something happening. The music isn't coming back, Ashley. My voice boomed through the PA, calm and amplified. Ashley spun. When she saw me with that microphone, her face twisted with fury. Eleanor, what are you doing? Get back to the kitchen. You're ruining my aesthetic. There is no aesthetic. There's only a breach of contract. Contract? My father stepped forward, face red. Eleanor, put that down. You're embarrassing us. Go back to your station. I don't have a station, Richard. I didn't call him Dad. I have a deed. I signaled Anthony. He stepped from the shadows with 2 security guards, real ones, not the rent-a-cops Ashley hired. He held up a tablet. Ladies and gentlemen, Anthony announced, voice carrying without a mic, this event is terminated immediately due to client violation of staff safety and dignity protocols. You have 15 minutes to vacate. You can't do that. Ashley screamed, storming toward me. I paid for this venue. I paid the deposit. Actually, I said, meeting her eyes, you paid the deposit to the previous management company. The one that went bankrupt 3 months ago. The one whose debt I purchased. I watched understanding hit her. Slow, like a crack spreading across glass. You, she whispered. Me. I raised the microphone. I acquired the distressed debt of the Thornfield Manor Resort 90 days ago. I'm the sole owner of this property. And as owner, I have zero tolerance for abuse of my staff. I pointed to the vest draped over a chair. You demanded I wear that to humiliate me. You grabbed me. Treated me like property. You triggered the eviction clause. No. My mother gasped. Eleanor, you own this place. I own the building, the land, the wine cellar you've been raiding, and the debt you signed. I paused. Right now, you're all trespassing. The ballroom exploded. Whispers, raised phones, shocked faces. People typing frantically. This would be all over social media in minutes. Victoria rose slowly, looking between Ashley and me. Something sharp in her eyes. Is this true? It's a lie. Ashley screamed. She's jealous. She owns nothing. Anthony, I said calmly. Show them. He lifted the tablet. The deed glowed on screen. My name. Property address. Acquisition date. All legal. All official. It's time to leave. Security moved in, but Ashley didn't go quietly. She yanked her arm free, shrieking. You stole everything. The venue, the night, my life. To her, I'd always been invisible. The idea I had power, that I'd accomplished something she couldn't, shattered her worldview. She spun, grabbed a 6-liter champagne bottle from the bar, and hurled it at my head. She missed. Crash. The bottle obliterated the hotel's prized Chihuly sculpture, massive hand-blown glass, centerpiece of the lobby for 15 years. $200,000 of art raining across marble. Silence swallowed the room. Then reality landed. That sculpture was valued at $215,000, I said calmly, checking my phone where Anthony had pulled up insurance docs. Insurance won't cover intentional destruction. I tapped the contract. Richard, you're personally liable. My father's face went gray. What? The booking agreement you signed. Complete with unlimited personal guarantee. You're responsible for all damages during the event, including intentional destruction by the client or client's guests. We didn't destroy anything, my father said, voice shaking. Ashley did. Ashley is the primary client. You and Evelyn are financial guarantors. Legally, you're all liable. Police arrived minutes later. Someone called when the bottle went flying. Ashley was cuffed and dragged away, still screaming I'd ruined her life. My mother begged. She's your sister. Please. No. She's a liability. I held up my phone, showing the damage assessment Anthony compiled. $200,000 for the sculpture. $15,000 for floor repairs. $50,000 for cancellation and lost bookings. All out of pocket. My father sagged against a chair, face gone from red to gray to white. We mortgaged the house for the deposit. We put in everything for this party. We have nothing left. I know. According to the county assessor, you have $220,000 in equity. I've already bought the debt. The lien files Monday. I'm taking the house. My mother's face crumpled. You can't do this. We're your family. You made me wear a uniform to my sister's party. Watched security send me to the service entrance and did nothing. Told me I finally fit in when I was dressed like a servant. I looked at both of them. You stopped being my family a long time ago. You just didn't notice because I was too useful to throw away completely. Nothing left to say. I walked past frozen guests, past shattered glass, past Victoria watching with an unreadable expression. Through doors Philip the doorman held open. Good night, Miss Eleanor, he said quietly. Good night, Philip. I drove away in silence, leaving them with the bill, the police reports, and the reality that status doesn't cancel consequences. They wanted me as a servant. So I served them justice. Thanks for listening, and if this story resonates with you, don't forget to comment and subscribe for more stories about family betrayal, standing up for yourself, and the sweet taste of accountability. Sometimes the best revenge isn't getting even, it's becoming the person they never believed you could be.